Chapter 51, The Nine Nether Dynasty, The Awakening of its Foundation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Southern Wasteland, Jiansang City, Zhangzhou, in a restaurant, a young man in brocade clothes, who exudes a noble temperament and has a stern face and looks only about 20 years old, is sitting at a table tasting fine wine, with a smile on his face from time to time. He is listening with interest to the topics discussed by some cultivators in the restaurant. If a cultivator from the Northern Sky Territory sees this noble young man here at this time, he will be shocked. Obviously, the origin of this noble young man must be extraordinary, but why he appeared in the southern wasteland is unknown. Brothers, listen to me. That day, I saw with my own eyes that the 8 great heavenly kings had no ability to resist in front of Kunlun, and were captured by the strong men of Kunlun in the void. Hiss. Now when I think of that terrible existence in Kunlun that day, just saying one word, the 8 great heavenly kings were captured from the void and brought into Kunlun, which makes me shudder. It's so scary, that a cultivator with a big knife on his waist looked at the people in front of him who were horrified, and said very seriously, this cultivator was the one who witnessed the battle between Kunlun and the 8 major forces and the Jun family in Yaoqi Palace that day. Hiss. When everyone heard this, their eyes widened, and their expressions were shocked and they couldn't help but gasp. Brother, what happened next? That everyone's face was very shocked, and they all wanted to know what happened next, and urged them to say that although the story of Kunlun had been circulating in the southern wilderness during this period, how could they not be shocked when they could hear it with their own ears now? Cough, 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 that the monk with a big knife on his waist pinched his throat and coughed heavily. Then one of the people was very tactful. He took the wine from his own table and poured the wine for the other party, and reminded him, hey. Come on, brother, have a glass of wine to moisten your throat first. Without looking at the wine, the monk with a big knife's eyes lit up, picked up the wine glass and drank it immediately. It was refreshing. Good guy, it turned out to be a drunkard. However, this wine is not ordinary wine, but a spiritual wine that can improve blood and qi. Most people can't afford it, then. Hiss. Later, it was even more scary. The Jun family in Yaoqi Palace also came. After the words fell, everyone exclaimed. What? Jun family in Yaoqi Palace. Hiss. You don't want to say that Kunlun even Jun family in Yaoqi Palace. Everyone seemed to have guessed something and was shocked, because there was no news about Jun family in Yaoqi Palace. No one dared to bring up the 2 top forces, and the ancestors of the 8 major forces did not tell anyone that the Jun family in Yaoqi Palace had suffered losses at the hands of Kunlun, so everyone in the southern wilderness believed that the Jun family in Yaoqi Palace did not take Kunlun seriously at all. But who would have thought that this matter was said by the cultivator in front of him who was about to carry a big knife? Sure enough, as long as I drink, I have the final say on whether the southern wilderness will be in chaos. At this time, at the previous wine table, the young man in brocade clothes heard the last 3 words of Yaoqi Palace, and his eyes showed a trace of surprise, and he murmured, Kunlun? What kind of force is this? It is so famous in this southern wilderness, it's interesting. Then, the monk with a knife continued. That's right. The people from the Jun family in Yaoqi Palace appeared behind, but Kunlun has another terrible existence. As soon as these words came out, everyone was shocked again, and their hearts were even more horrified. Hiss. What kind of sect is this Kunlun? That existence seems to be a young woman, but the aura is extremely terrifying. There is. It is possible that it is an existence above the heavenly king realm. Speaking of this, the monk with a sword swallowed his foam and said in a trembling voice, wow. Above the heavenly king realm. That's not. Everyone present was completely shocked and speechless. Oh. Interesting. Is there a saint in Kunlun? That the young man in brocade clothes thought to himself, he continued without waiting for everyone to come to their senses. Later, the one in Kunlun took action, and seemed to want to keep the people from the Jun family in Yaoqi Palace, but someone took them away. Ha! After the monk with a sword finished speaking, he took a deep breath and shook his head, as if he had sobered up from the alcohol. Looking at the shocked expressions of the people in front of him, he realized something and his face changed. He got up and hurriedly left the restaurant, not daring to stay. Hiss. In the restaurant, everyone also came to their senses and took a deep breath. Then, one person suddenly exclaimed. Fuck. Kunlun. Everyone was confused, thinking that this person was stimulated after hearing about Kunlun. The after effect is so strong. Fuck. I almost forgot that Kunlun will officially start recruiting disciples tomorrow. Ignoring everyone's reaction, the monk said a word and rushed out of the restaurant towards Qingzhou. Kunlun recruits disciples. Fuck. Damn storyteller. You hurt me too. Kunlun, here I come. After the voice fell, everyone present greeted the monk with a knife just now for 18 generations in their hearts. Then they quickly left the restaurant and took out their best escape skills to rush to Kunlun. In a flash, the restaurant that was bustling just now was now terrifyingly quiet. Only the young man in brocade clothes remained there, looking confused, not knowing what had happened. He only heard something like Kunlun recruiting disciples. Damn! What's going on? What kind of sect is this Kunlun? The young man was also slightly surprised. This was not the first time he had heard the word Kunlun. Ever since he entered the southern wilderness, the word Kunlun has been circulating everywhere. At that time, he didn't care much, but now, after hearing what those people said just now, he became more interested in Kunlun. Kunlun. I'd like to see what kind of sect this is. Then, the young man also left the restaurant, and after learning about the direction everyone was going, his figure disappeared. At the same time, East Sky Territory, Ziyue Dynasty, deep in the Ziyue ancestral land, in an ancient hall, the three elders of the Ziyue Dynasty seemed to sense something, suddenly opened their eyes, and looked into the depths of the hall with deep awe in their eyes. In the depths of the hall, a terrifying aura permeated from there. Then, he quickly stood up from his cross-legged training state, bowed and said respectfully in the direction of the depths of the hall, and was even more shocked in his heart. He did not expect that this existence who had been sleeping for tens of thousands of years had actually awakened. Ancestor, you have awakened. As the words fell, a majestic voice as old as the abyss came from the depths. After 30,000 years, how is the Ziyue dynasty now? Hearing this, the elders of the three Ziyue clans were shocked, and then said respectfully. Reply to the ancestor, everything is fine, just. Tell me, just what? Another old and majestic voice came from the depths of the hall. Thank you for the gifts from the big guys. The author has also seen many comments from the big guys. There are indeed many places that are not written well, and there will be contradictions and it is uncomfortable to read. The author will try to modify it, because it is the first time to write. It is indeed not written well, and the writing is also poor. The author is working hard to improve. Thank you again for the support of the big guys. If possible, give the author a good review. Thank you big guys. Chapter 52 Lingxiao Dynasty, Second Prince Ling Mu. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Back to our ancestors. Yu Ming has fallen. Facing that voice from deep, the elder of the Ziyue clan couldn't help but tense up, and he didn't even dare to breathe. You must know that this elder of the Ziyue tribe is a 7th-level heavenly king, but even so, he did not even dare to breathe when facing the owner of the old voice in the depths. Obviously, this is definitely the terrifying background of the Ziyue dynasty, and it is also a terrifying existence called the ancestor by the elders of the Ziyue 3 clans. The words fell. Boom! An extremely terrifying aura was released from the depths of the hall, instantly making the elders of the Ziyue clan turn pale and trembling all over. Humph! What happened? Anyone who dares to kill my Ziyue people is seeking death. The owner of the voice deep inside was obviously angry, and a terrifying aura filled the hall. Return, back to my ancestor, it's. The elders of the Ziyue clan looked pale and quickly told the whole story. Humph. Kunlun. Looking for death. It seems that I have been sleeping for too long. Everyone in the world has forgotten how powerful I am, Ziyue. A cold snort came from deep inside. I didn't expect that the ancient secret realm would be born. Kunlun, let him live a little longer. Ancestor, I'm going to meet those old guys. Obviously, the owner of this voice did not take Kunlun seriously at all. Yes, Ancestor. The elders of the three Ziyue tribes said respectfully, feeling extremely excited and shocked at the same time. Hiss. The Ancestor actually wanted to meet those people. Of course he knows who the old guys the Ancestor is referring to are the true heritage of the top overlords in the Eastern Sky Territory. Have all those beings awakened? The owner of the old voice deep in the hall is the ancestor of the Ziyue dynasty, and he is a saint. It is obvious that the strength of the Eastern Sky Territory is much stronger than that of the Southern Wilderness Territory, only in terms of the overlord's power background. From the words of this Ziyue ancestor, we can know that not only the Ziyue dynasty has saints, but also other overlord forces seem to have saints. In comparison, the overlord power in the Southern Wilderness Territory is not as strong as that in the Eastern Heaven Territory. The overall strength of the Southern Wilderness region is indeed the lowest compared to the strength of other major regions, because it is rumored that there is only one superpower that has been inherited for millions of years in the Southern Wilderness region, and there are more than just one superpower that has been inherited for millions of years in other large regions. At the same time, Southern Wilderness, Qingzhou, at the entrance to the Immortal Burial Mountain Range, a forbidden area that was originally too scary to enter, now countless monks have gathered here. Everyone's eyes widened and they looked at the two ancient stone pillars in front of them with shock. They saw two words Kunlun engraved on them that exuded ancient aura. They were all shocked and speechless. Hiss. How is it possible? This Kunlun is actually, in the forbidden area. Everyone's faces were full of disbelief. They thought Kunlun was just somewhere in Qingzhou, but when they were brought here by the monks who had entered the burial Immortal Mountains before, they were completely shocked. Sure enough. Kunlun is a hidden sect. A monk exclaimed, then quickly ran inside with an extremely excited face. See it, countless people reacted immediately and quickly entered it and headed towards Kunlun, because most people have already entered before, and now thinking about the mystery of Kunlun, countless people have realized that Kunlun is definitely a hidden sect. If monks from other major areas saw this, they would definitely think that these people were crazy. How dare you even break into the Immortal Burial Mountain Range? Really not afraid of death? Not far away, a young man looked at the scene in front of him with a look of shock on his face and murmured. This Kunlun is actually in the forbidden area? Is it true that Kunlun is really a hidden sect as those people said? That this young man is exactly the young man in brocade clothes who appeared in the Tiansang City restaurant before. Then, just as the young man was about to follow the crowd into it, a voice rang in his ears. Your Highness, please slow down. The old slave sensed the existence of a saint in the Immortal Burial Mountain Range. Saint? That the young man who had just wanted to enter the Immortal Burial Mountain Range stopped in his tracks after hearing these words, and his expression was slightly startled. Mulao, do you think this Kunlun is a hidden sect? The voice known as Mulao said, Your Highness, don't worry. Even if Kunlun is a hidden sect, it is at most a force with more than 100,000 inheritances. As His Highness, even the master of Kunlun must be respectful when meeting him. Mulao, this is the forbidden Immortal Burial Mountain Range. How could an ordinary hidden sect appear here? The young man said slowly. After hearing this, Mu Lao's voice came again. Your Highness is right, but the old slave has just used his spiritual consciousness to explore the situation inside. There is indeed a sect inside. Your Highness, you know what this means. The young man seemed not to understand what Mu Lao meant. Mu Lao, what do you mean? Your Highness, now that the world has come to the Xianwu continent, various strange phenomena will appear one after another. For example, the Immortal Burial Mountain Range is no longer what it was tens of thousands of years ago. Mu Lao's voice seemed to have changed when he said this, and he did not say the rest of the words, but the young man could clearly feel from Mu Lao's voice that it was a kind of fear of something or the unknown. His face changed slightly, and it was hard to imagine what could make him, a protector with the cultivation of a saint, feel afraid. Mr. Mu, have you been to the Immortal Burial Mountain Range tens of thousands of years ago? The young man asked. He really wanted to know what could make a saint feel afraid. Your Highness guessed correctly. 30,000 years ago, this old slave had followed that person to this place. The scene at that time was also like this. For tens of thousands of years, even millions of years, the burial Immortal Mountains will always be a scene of paradise, but what is really terrifying is the unknown power in it. That existence only wanted to use his spiritual sense to explore it at that time. He narrowly won and fell here. That person. The young man couldn't help but take a breath when he heard the words, and his expression was extremely shocked. Of course, he knew who the person in Mu Lao's mouth was. That person was from his Lingxiao dynasty. At this time, the young man seemed to understand something. No wonder there is a sect in the burial Immortal Mountains now, and countless people have rushed in without caring about their lives. It seems that the great era is really coming. First, the ancient secret realm is about to be born, followed by countless hidden sects and ancient clans. This means that the world has undergone tremendous changes. No wonder my father said that the Emperor will reappear in this life, and let me come out to experience and find my own opportunities. The great era is coming. All the great sects and clans will be born. It is really an era that makes people excited. Of course, there are many hidden sects in Xuanhuan continent, but only those ancient forces that have been passed down for millions of years can be called great sects and ancient clans, and those forces that have only been around for more than 100,000 years and tens of thousands of years can only be called hidden sections. They are called hidden sects, but in the eyes of the real great forces in the world, these hidden forces that have only been around for 100,000 years and hundreds of thousands of years are just third-rate forces, just like the Jun family. They are also the dominant forces that have been passed down for more than 100,000 years, but the Jun family has not hidden themselves, because the need for hidden sects and families is to better accumulate the foundation of power. But whenever there is a secret realm or a chance to go against the sky on Xuanhuan continent, these hidden forces will appear to seize the opportunity, just like the ancient secret realm is about to appear. Those hidden sects, and great clans will probably all appear at that time. This is why the 5 ancestors of the Jun family said that hidden sects have appeared in other domains recently. The young man nodded. It was true, because his identity was extremely terrifying. This young man was Ling Mu, the second prince of the superpower Lingxiao dynasty in the northern sky region. He broke through the void realm at the age of 20. His talent was extraordinary and he was praised by the ancestor of the dynasty as a demon who could become a great emperor in this life. The person he called Mu Lao was his protector on this trip, a saint of the 9th heaven. This was why Mu Lao could sense the existence of a saint in the burial Immortal Mountains. The chapter is more than 2,000 words, don't say it's short. The author is very long. Thank you for the gifts and support. Chapter 53 Kunlun officially begins recruiting disciples. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At the same time, at the gate of Kunlun Mountain, an ancient stone staircase that reaches the sky appeared in front of countless monks, and it seemed that there was no end when they looked up. All the monks who entered the Immortal Burial Mountain range did not dare to step on the stone staircase at this moment. They were all stunned, with horrified expressions on their faces. What should we do? Go up. A monk looked at everyone and said that they did not dare to step on the stone staircase without the appearance of Kunlun. What's going on? Where are the disciples you promised to recruit? Why didn't Kunlun show up? Are you kidding us? Someone questioned at this time. Gone. I said. How could Kunlun recruit disciples casually? Damn, which bastard lied to me? Shoo. You are looking for death. This is Kunlun. Hearing this, the monk realized that he was speechless, and quickly shut his mouth and looked around. Ha! Fortunately, no one from Kunlun appeared. Just when everyone didn't know what to do, a figure appeared above the crowd at some point. It was Wang Ming, Wang Xian, and Wang Lin, who were in charge of recruiting disciples this time. Luo Wushuang and Qin Zhan followed behind them. At this time, someone discovered Wang Ming and others above and exclaimed. Look! Kunlun's people have appeared. Wang Ming looked at the countless cultivators below and nodded with satisfaction. It seemed that he could complete the task assigned by the sect master this time. Everyone, my Kunlun's recruitment of disciples has officially begun. Wang Ming said in a light voice, and smiled at the many cultivators below. It's not that easy to become a disciple of my Kunlun. Hearing this, the faces of the people below were instantly excited. It seemed that they did not run in vain. Countless people have already imagined the highlight moment of becoming a disciple of Kunlun, and they shouted in their hearts, I want to be the eldest brother of Kunlun. Lin Yun, do you think I don't exist? For countless cultivators, this is their chance to leap over the Dragon Gate. How can they not be excited? Moreover, everyone knew that Kunlun was called a hidden sect by countless people in the southern wilderness. There must be many skills and magical powers in the sect, which was more exciting to them than being able to enter the dominant force. Senior, may I ask if you are the elder of Kunlun? A cultivator couldn't help asking Wang Ming. He wanted to know whether Kunlun was as powerful as the rumor said. As soon as these words came out, countless people became energetic and looked at Wang Ming with excitement. Of course, they also knew that there were rumors that there were several powerful guards in Kunlun. When everyone heard this, they were all in disbelief. Now someone dared to say what they thought in their hearts, which made them even more excited. Hearing this, Wang Ming smiled. How could he not know what the cultivator meant and didn't care about anything? Then the cultivation of the Void Realm was revealed from him, and a powerful aura instantly filled the scene. Everyone was shocked and shocked. Hiss. Void Realm. Is this the hidden sect? Any one of them is a powerful cultivator of the Void Realm. A cultivator of the Void Realm is a lofty existence to everyone present. In everyone's impression, a cultivator of the Void Realm is enough to open up a dominant force. As a result, any one of Kunlun has such a powerful cultivation. Everyone couldn't help but look at Wang Lin and Wang Xian beside Wang Ming, and a thought came to their mind, 3 cultivators of the Void Realm. Worthy of being a hidden sect. Everyone thought that Wang Ming's cultivation of the Void Realm had shocked them enough, but Wang Ming's next sentence instantly shocked everyone. I'm not an elder of Kunlun, I'm a guard of Kunlun. Including the 2 people around me are also my guards of Kunlun. Wang Ming looked at the reactions of the crowd and said lightly, wow. As soon as these words came out, everyone was shocked again. 3 cultivators of the Void Realm were just guards. At this moment, no one dared to doubt the fact that Kunlun was a hidden sect. Ask. Which force in the southern wilderness has such a strong foundation that can let a powerful person in the cave Void Realm serve as a guard? Even the top 10 overlord forces are not so arrogant. Okay, we have asked all the questions that need to be asked. The disciple assessment begins now. Wang Ming looked at everyone and said, which made everyone stunned. Looking around, there was a large open space with nothing here. Assessment? Right here. Shouldn't it be in the sect? Are the assessment methods of the hidden sects so sloppy? Everyone was very puzzled and had a bad premonition in their hearts. The stone stairs in front of you is your first level. Anyone who can climb up my Kunlun Immortal Mountain through the stone stairs can stay and continue the second level assessment. Soon, Wang Ming's words confirmed their bad premonition. The words fell, wow. Everyone's face changed, and they looked up at the ancient stone stairs in front of them. They were all shocked. Although the stone stairs looked ordinary, everyone could feel that there seemed to be some mysterious power on the stone stairs. As expected, it's not that easy to become a disciple of a hidden sect. You don't even have the qualifications to take a look at what's above Kunlun. At this time, everyone secretly breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, they didn't step onto the stone stairs rashly just now, otherwise they might have been eliminated now. Everyone smiled bitterly in their hearts. Chapter 54 Test the first level, the ladder to heaven. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the main hall of Kunlun, Chen used his spiritual consciousness to see a trace of shock on the faces of countless monks gathered under the mountain gate. He did not expect that Kunlun's first recruitment of disciples would attract so many people. This was far beyond his expectation. Now there are 1 million people gathered at Kunlun Mountain. Even though 1 million people is a lot, for the entire southern wilderness territory, this number of people is not even 1/10 of the number of people in a small dynasty, obviously, although Kunlun's reputation has shocked the entire southern wilderness region. There are still very few people who truly believe that Kunlun is a hidden sect, otherwise, how could only 1,000,000 monks come, while the top overlord sects like those in the southern wilderness never recruit disciples without millions of people coming to compete for the opportunity. System, what is the use of that stone staircase? Lu Chen secretly thought, because yesterday he asked the system if there were any treasures to test the monk's mind and character, but the system asked him to use the stone staircase at the mountain gate as the first test. As for the purpose, I haven't explained it to Lu Chen yet. I just said that the monks who can ascend Kunlun through the stone stairs have passed the test in terms of mind and character. This was something Lu Chen valued very much, so he arranged for Wang Ming and others to take charge. Host, the stone staircase is called Tongxin Tianlai. As the name suggests, any monk who steps on the stone staircase will be detected by the Tongxin Tianlai if he has evil intentions, a corrupt mind, bad character, or has done something that is not allowed by heaven, and thus will be excluded from the Tongxin ladder. Chapter 55 Chaos God's Eyes, Destroying the World with One Glance. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At this time, Ling Mu had a vague feeling that his opportunity was in Kunlun before his eyes. It didn't take long, Mu Lao's voice rang in his ears. Your Highness, this old slave can't understand the origin of this ladder, but it must be some heritage inherited from Kunlun. Your Highness, I feel that such a small force with a heritage of only more than 100,000 years is not worth your time to waste here. Ling Mu's protector Mu Lao didn't seem to want His Highness to stay in a place that he regarded as a small force. Although Kunlun appeared in the Immortal Burial Mountains, he did not think that Kunlun was an ancient sect, but a small force that established the sect's headquarters in the Immortal Burial Mountains, although he didn't know when the Immortal Burial Mountain range lost the mysterious power it had tens of thousands or even millions of years ago. He always believed that Kunlun established a sect here after discovering the changes in the Immortal Burial Mountain range. Door Station, in this way, his sect has a mysterious feeling, because there are many bluffing forces on the Xianwu continent, not worth mentioning. Hearing this, Ling Mu did not pay too much attention to the situation on the ladder. He knew that Mu Lao was right, but he did not leave. Instead, he wanted to step onto the ladder and enter Kunlun to have a look. Mu Lao, I want to see what Kunlun's heritage is that makes people from the entire southern wilderness region flock to it so much. Ling Mu chuckled and said. After a while, Mu Lao's voice sounded again. Your Highness is in charge of everything. Don't worry, I have you here. No matter where you go or what you do, no force in the southern wilderness dares to disrespect you, Your Highness. This is the confidence and strength of a dynasty. Who would have thought that a saint is just the protector of this young man? It is enough to show that the background of Lingxiao dynasty is extremely terrifying. Even the top overlord force is just a small force in front of it. After a while, the previous scene on the ladder no longer existed. Along with the monks who had been repelled by the ladder, there are now less than 2,000 people on the Tongxin heavenly staircase, and everyone is excited and desperately continuing to climb up, but it seems that they can't reach the end, so they can only keep their heads down and rush upward. Of course, there are also people who see that they are not excluded and know that they can enter Kunlun as long as they pass the entire ladder. Therefore, many people prepare to use their spiritual power to fly up into the sky, but they underestimated this ancient ladder. After running it for a while, they found that they could not mobilize the spiritual power in their bodies. Everyone smiled bitterly in their hearts, but no one wanted to give up such a good opportunity. At this time, not only the spiritual power in their body was disabled, but also the physical power corresponding to their cultivation level could not be used. The further they go up, the more they feel the exhaustion of physical strength. At this time, they are just ordinary people and can only rely on their own willpower to climb up. Yes. Yes, so many people can persist. The sect leader will definitely be very satisfied when he finds out. Wang Ming and the others looked at the people on the ladder, nodded and smiled. Indeed, as Wang Ming and the others said, Lu Chen did not care about the number of disciples he recruited this time, but valued the monk's own willpower, potential, mind, and character. In the main hall, Lu Chen's eyes were filled with divine light, and he opened his chaos divine eyes to look at the monks on the ladder outside the mountain gate, with a satisfied smile on his face. I hope these people can persist until the end, otherwise it will be difficult for Kunlun to recruit disciples in the southern wilderness territory. Lu Chen doesn't have too much hope for those who may not believe in Kunlun's strength. Even if he recruits disciples next time, Lu Chen won't do it in the southern wasteland. This Chaos God's eye is really powerful, it can see through everything with just one glance. It is indeed produced by the system. The Chaos Divine Eyes were the divine pupils that Lu Chen developed after practicing the Chaos Divine technique. Of course, this was his first time to use it. I just want to test whether this divine eye is as powerful as the system says. The Chaos God's eyes will become more terrifying as Lu Chen's cultivation becomes stronger. According to the system, as long as Lu Chen's cultivation becomes truly powerful, he can penetrate a large world with one glance and destroy immortals with one glance. In one glance, the world is destroyed. In one glance the immortal is destroyed, the divine eyes become yin and yang, and the years are reversed. Lu Chen exclaimed softly and discovered two extremely powerful auras appearing in the immortal burial mountain range. There was no way to hide from the eyes of the god of chaos. Unexpectedly, with Lu Chen's current level of cultivation, he didn't even notice the existence of these two auras. Two saints. They are both 9th level saints. No wonder I didn't notice it, huh? It's hidden deep enough. Lu Chen's face suddenly turned cold. If these two saints came to cause trouble for Kunlun, Lu Chen would definitely make them pay a heavy price, even if the opponent is a saint with a powerful cultivation level in the 9th level. Lu Chen is now on the 1st level of the saints, and Qing is now on the 1st level of the saints, but Lu Chen now possesses the Chaos Spirit method. This method has 8 levels of magical powers and is an extremely powerful trump card. Even the 9th level Saint Lu Chen is not afraid. What's more, Qing's combat power cannot be measured by his cultivation. Humph. If you dare to disrupt Kunlun's recruitment of disciples this time, no matter what your origins are, I will definitely make you pay a heavy price. Lu Chen's face was as cold as frost, and his eyes were extremely cold. Although he felt that the two auras were not hostile, he dared to hide in Kunlun's territory, which was undoubtedly provoking Kunlun. Seeing this, Lu Chen chose not to touch the two saints, but wanted to see which force wanted to take action against Kunlun. Kunlun Mountain Gate. At this time, many cultivators who had no chance to become Kunlun disciples did not leave. Everyone looked at the remaining people on the ladder with envy and sighed in their hearts. They had no idea why they were rejected by the ladder in front of them. Naturally, some of these people had relatively strong cultivation. Even young cultivators in the Dao Palace realm had some, and there were countless cultivators below the Shenzong realm. Countless people looked ugly and depressed, thinking that Kunlun was playing tricks on them. Many people secretly cursed Kunlun in their hearts. What the hell, what kind of hidden sect is Kunlun? What do you mean you don't care about cultivation? I ran thousands of miles here, but I didn't even see what Kunlun was like. A cultivator in his 20s with the cultivation of the Dao Palace realm hated Kunlun in his heart and thought that Kunlun was playing tricks on him. Of course, he didn't dare to say this in front of Wang Ming and the other two even if he had 10 guts. Not only did this cultivator hate Kunlun in his heart, most of the cultivators were cursing Kunlun in their hearts at this time. TSK. This is the behavior of a person with a very bad heart and character. Once these people don't get the results they want, they will have evil thoughts about it. This is the most terrifying. If such a cultivator enters the sect, he will be a traitor. I am afraid that as long as other forces give a little benefit, they will definitely betray the sect for the sake of profit. You'd better go to harm other forces. You will only be slapped to death if you come to Kunlun. At this time, everyone has stepped on the ladder, and those who haven't stepped on it are excluded and eliminated. However, there are still 2 people present who haven't stepped on the ladder, but are watching. It seems that the ladder in front of them is just an ordinary stone ladder in their eyes. One is Ling Mu, who came from the North Sky region to the South Wilderness region for training. The other is a young woman wearing a purple dress with a peerless face. Her figure is beautiful, her temperament is extraordinary, and she looks only 20 years old. At this time, she also stopped and watched in a place far away from the crowd. Although this young woman has a peerless beauty, no one present seems to notice her. It's like standing in front of you but you can't see her. Obviously, if this young woman is not powerful in her own cultivation, then there must be a strong person who is covering up her aura so that people cannot detect her existence. Even Wang Ming and the other two did not find this young woman. Obviously, the origin of this young woman in purple skirt is probably extremely complicated. Chapter 56, Ziyue Dynasty, Grand Princess Yunyan. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Seeing this, Ling Mu was just about to walk towards the ladder in front when Mu Lao's voice of surprise sounded in his ears. Huh. I didn't expect that people from the Purple Moon Dynasty would also join in the fun. Purple Moon Dynasty. Ling Mu's face changed slightly when he heard this. What were the people from the Purple Moon Dynasty doing here? Now that the world of Xuanhuan continent has changed drastically, there will be many people from the inheritance of major forces appearing in various domains to find opportunities and train themselves, and he is one of them. Ling Mu knew this, but he didn't expect that people from the Purple Moon Dynasty would also come to the southern wilderness. The Purple Moon Dynasty and the Lingxiao Dynasty are both one of the 5 superpowers in the Northern Sky domain, and their backgrounds are extremely terrifying. Your Highness, look in that direction. Ling Mu looked in a certain direction according to Mu Lao's instructions, and his face was slightly surprised. It's her. Yunyan, that the young woman in the purple skirt in the distance seemed to feel that someone had discovered her. Her beautiful eyes turned and Ling Mu's eyes collided with hers, causing her face to change immediately. The second prince of Lingxiao Dynasty, Ling Mu, that the young woman in purple skirt is the eldest princess of Ziyue Dynasty, Yunyan, who entered the realm of Cave Void at the age of 20. She is one of the top 10 geniuses in the Northern Sky region together with Ling Mu. It is said that she has a special physique, which makes people from major forces in the Northern Sky region very afraid. For a moment, the two turned their eyes away and ignored each other. Although people from major forces like them know each other, they rarely meet each other, let alone greet each other. This is a normal phenomenon. Although the Lingxiao and Ziyue dynasties are not hostile, they are definitely not friendly. Afterwards, Ling Mu no longer paid attention to Yunyan and disappeared from the spot. In a flash, he appeared at the bottom of the ladder. He looked indifferent and stepped forward to climb the ladder. Wow! At this moment, everyone looked at Ling Mu, who suddenly appeared, and his face changed slightly. Look! Huh! There is actually someone stepping on the ladder. That everyone below was talking. Who is he? Why do I feel that the aura on this person is so strong? Hiss. Not only that. Why does this person's temperament seem so noble? Is this someone from a big force coming here to mess things up? Many people looked extremely excited, wishing that the young man in front of them was sent by a big force to disrupt Kunlun's recruitment of disciples. Hiss. I think so. But why haven't I seen this person in the southern wilderness? Yes. There doesn't seem to be this person among the great geniuses in the southern wilderness. Everyone speculated on the identity of the young man who suddenly appeared on the ladder. At this time, Wang Ming and the other two also noticed Ling Mu, who stepped onto the ladder. They saw Ling Mu's cultivation at a glance, and their faces changed slightly. Such a young cave virtual realm. This is the first time that Wang Ming and the other two have seen such a young person with such a cultivation. This also made Wang Ming and the other two doubt the identity of the young man on the ladder. It stands to reason that such a cultivation at this age is definitely not as simple as an ordinary cultivator. Then the three exchanged glances and did not stop the young man. Wang Ming and the other two knew that Lu Chen had been paying attention to this place. Now Lu Chen did not give any hints, so the three had nothing to worry about. Yunyan saw Ling Mu stepping onto the ladder from a distance, and a hint of surprise appeared in her eyes. Interesting, I didn't expect that the most talented second prince of the Lingxiao dynasty would actually go to participate in the recruitment test of disciples of a small force. In that case, I would like to see what this Kunlun has that can attract you, Ling Mu. Seeing this, Yunyan also became interested and seemed to want to step onto the ladder and take Kunlun's recruitment test. Yunyan, like Ling Mu, had just entered the southern wilderness and heard about Kunlun's strength and power everywhere, so she also wanted to see what kind of sect Kunlun was. However, when Yunyan came to Qingzhou and found out that Kunlun was actually in the forbidden burial Immortal Mountains, she was also shocked, but later her protector gave the same explanation. As Ling Mu's protector, at this time, an old woman's voice came. It was her protector, a saint of the ninth heaven. Princess, no. How can you be a disciple of such a small force with your status? Her protector seemed to see Yunyan's thoughts. Old Lan, you don't have to worry, I just want to see what kind of sect Kunlun is. Yunyan chuckled and didn't take it seriously. Of course, she didn't really want to be a disciple of Kunlun. Even if Kunlun wants this princess to stay as a disciple, we have to see if the leader of Kunlun has the courage. Indeed, Ziyunyan's status is so high that even the superpower Tianxian Holy Land in the southern wilderness dare not disrespect her. Among the 5 superpowers in the northern sky region, the strength of the Ziyue dynasty ranks 3rd, and the strength of the Lingxiao dynasty ranks last. In the Xianwu continent, the major superpowers know each other's strength, therefore, no matter which domain these superpowers go to, no one dares to disrespect them at all. This princess, although this is true, if the emperor knows about this, I'm afraid he will blame me. The voice of Old Lan came again, and he was extremely disapproving of the princess's behavior. Old Lan, don't worry. If the emperor blames me, I will explain everything to him. In this case, it's all up to the princess. If Kunlun dares to disrespect you, I will destroy Kunlun. After a while, the voice of Lan Lao came. Destroy Kunlun. Don't be scared to death by Kunlun's strength. Of course, Ziyunyan's protector also sensed the existence of a saint in Kunlun, so he didn't forcefully enter Kunlun. Even this Lan Lao didn't want to fight with a saint with a strong aura. Of course, it's not that Lan Lao was afraid, but if Kunlun dared to disrespect Ziyunyan, this Lan Lao would definitely forcefully attack Kunlun. Ziyunyan chuckled helplessly and nodded. She knew how powerful this Lan Lao was. Anyone who dared to disrespect her would have to pay a heavy price. In a flash, Ziyunyan appeared at the bottom of the ladder and smiled gently at Ling Mu, who had already stepped on 1,000 steps. Ling Mu. Let me see today if your strength is as strong as the rumors say. Ling Mu and Ziyunyan are both among the top 10 young geniuses in the northern sky region, but the two have never fought each other. Although Ziyunyan is rumored to have a special physique, in the eyes of everyone in the northern sky region, Ling Mu's strength is stronger than Ziyunyan, so this time she also wanted to use Kunlun's simple disciple test method to have a simple contest with Ling Mu. Ziyunyan stepped onto the ladder without hesitation, and then quickly chased after Ling Mu. Chapter 57-72 Floating Mountains, Kunlun Wonderland. You are listening at novelfull.audio. As Ziyunyan stepped onto the ladder to heaven, everyone present also noticed her appearance. Fuck. Look. Another person is coming up. Suddenly, everyone exclaimed. No one knew when the woman in the purple skirt on the ladder stepped onto the ladder. In a moment, everyone saw that the woman in the purple skirt had climbed 100 steps. Fuck. Then, when did the woman in the purple skirt appear? Stop fucking, someone said angrily, which seemed to affect his view of the beauty of the purple-clothed figure. Hiss. So beautiful. Who is this fairy? It seems that there is no such person in the southern wasteland. What the hell? Do you have any potential? How can monks like us be influenced by a womanizer? A monk looked very angry and said. Everyone was stunned for a moment when they heard this, but before everyone could react, the monk continued. Do you know that you can't control it when you're still young? You'd better let me do it. Then, the monk didn't know where he took out a spiritual weapon similar to a telescope. Ignoring everyone's strange looks, he put it in his eyes and looked at the purple-skirted figure above with relish, exclaiming from time to time. Wonderful. This is so round. Hiss. That is so big. Right, lift your right leg, keep it. I will be quick. Everyone, damn it. It turns out that he is a practitioner of traditional crafts. Awesome. Brother. No one dared to disturb this physical cultivator. Then everyone stared closely at the purple figure and saw a world-famous face, especially the figure's attractive body wrapped in a purple skirt, which immediately made everyone's expressions reveal their lustful expressions. Very obscene, and at this time, Wang Ming and the other three also saw the woman in the purple skirt, and their expressions changed slightly. Another such a young Dongshu realm. At this time, Wang Ming seemed to see something, and his eyes suddenly turned cold as he looked at the woman in purple skirt who was already on the same ladder as Ling Mu. Interesting. Are you using my Kunlun test ladder to test your strength? Snort. Regardless of whether you are from other forces or not, once you pass through my Kunlun ladder and enter Kunlun, it will not be that easy to exit. There were originally less than 2,000 monks on the ladder, but now half of them have reached the top. At the top of the ladder, there are 2 monks, Qin Ruoxian and Luo Lingxiao, who are responsible for passing through the ladder. They will be arranged to wait aside. Hiss. This, is this a fairyland? It's spectacular. Is this Kunlun? Hiss. Wait. The spiritual energy here is so rich. Kunlun doesn't bully me. He is indeed a hidden sect. Everyone who had climbed the Kunlun Tianmen peak through the ladder was dumbfounded, looking at the floating independent peaks that appeared in front of them in shock. Each peak was lined with ancient attics and halls. At first glance, it seemed like it was a world of its own. At this time, it is like a fairyland against the sea of clouds. Everyone was shocked. Who could have such means to build such a powerful sect? No wonder they couldn't see any shadow of Kunlun at the foot of the mountain. It turns out that only those recognized by Kunlun can see the real Kunlun. 72 peaks surround a more majestic main peak, presenting a scene of stars over the moon. Just one glance can make people feel awe. Kunlun was not like this before. Although there were independent peaks, there were only the main peak, the Disciple Peak, the Elder Peak, and the Tianshu Peak where the Kung Fu Hall was placed independently. With this seen before, one can imagine that the ancestors of the 8 top powers, the Heavenly Kings, the Jun family, and the ancestors of the Yao Qi Palace would not dare to become enemies with Kunlun. I'm afraid people from the Holy Land will scream in surprise when they come. Who could have such means to create such a sect? This is actually because the system removed all the mountain peaks to allow Kunlun to recruit more disciples and develop Kunlun as quickly as possible. System, host. I'm going to help you amplify your moves. If you don't live up to expectations, it's your problem. Lu Chen, do you want face? Give me as many summoning cards as you can from the disciples I receive. System, you are noble, you are amazing. Junior brothers and sisters, you go over there and wait first. After everyone on the ladder comes up, you will be tested in the 2nd level. Luo Lingxiao and Qin Ruoxian stepped forward and smiled slightly at everyone's reactions. A pleasant voice sounded in everyone's ears. After hearing this, everyone hurriedly saw it and immediately exclaimed. How beautiful! Are these 2 fairies also disciples of Kunlun? Everyone only looked at them with admiration for the 2 people's stunning appearance, and did not even dare to look at them with a trace of blasphemy. Obviously, those who pass the ladder will not have evil intentions like those who are excluded. As monks, we should not be influenced by women to strengthen our Taoism. Lin Yun, I have every reason to suspect that you are talking about me. Master, junior brother, junior sister. Could it be that we are already Kunlun's disciples? Hear this, everyone was stunned and looked at each other, thinking that they had heard wrong, and now they have become Kunlun's disciples. After a while, everyone reacted immediately. Luo Lingxiao, who didn't look like he was joking, looked extremely excited and replied nervously, yes, 2 divisions, senior sister. Sure enough, Kunlun really doesn't care about talent and cultivation. The image of Kunlun in their hearts instantly grew taller at this moment. Not long after, everyone except Ling Mu and Yunyan slowly climbed up the ladder. When they saw the fairyland-like scene in front of them, their expressions were extremely shocked, and their eyes were filled with excitement. Their efforts were not in vain. Kunlun is indeed a hidden sect. At the same time, on the ladder, Ling Mu's eyes showed a hint of amusement as he watched small beads of sweat appear on Yunyan's forehead and couldn't help but joked. At the same time, he was already shocked in his heart. I said, Princess Z, if you don't stay well in the Ziyue dynasty, why did you come to this southern wilderness territory where the spiritual energy is thin? That this Kunlun was indeed, as he thought, extremely complicated, but it also verified his idea that his opportunity might be in this Kunlun. Hear this. Humph. Ling Mu, please stop provoking me here, otherwise I'll look better than you. Yunyan's face was a little ugly, her eyes were cold and she was shocked at the same time. This Kunlun seems not to be simple. There can be such a magical object, that she really didn't expect that this seemingly ordinary ladder could actually cause the monk to lose his cultivation and physical strength, turning her into an ordinary person. The first 1,000 steps of the stairway to heaven test the monk's mind and character. Going up the 1,000 steps will cause the monk to lose his cultivation and physical strength and become an ordinary person. This is why Yunyan climbed to the top of the 1,000 stairs in just a moment as soon as she stepped on the ladder to heaven. Although you are fast, you still can't hide anything in front of the Tongxin ladder. This is what frightened both Yunyan and Ling Mu. At that time, both of them could clearly feel that there was a mysterious force that had seen through them. There was no secret at all in front of that force. Hearing this, Ling Mu suddenly wanted to laugh, and then continued to provoke. Princess Z, you and I have lost our cultivation now. If you don't want to fall, come hit me. You. Ling Mu. Yunyan gritted her teeth and looked at Ling Mu angrily. She knew that Ling Mu just wanted to see her make a fool of herself. Chapter 58 1,600 people became Kunlun disciples. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Humph. Ling Mu, you are just good at talking. I don't want to bother with you. Yunyan ignored Ling Mu, took a deep breath, and then climbed up. She wanted to see what kind of sect Kunlun was. Seeing this, Ling Mu smiled, and did not provoke Yunyan again, and then chased up. Not long after, Ling Mu and Yunyan also stepped onto the last step. When they walked up, a scene like a fairyland appeared in front of them. 72 floating mountains, accompanied by the sea of clouds, stood in the void. The two were shocked, their pupils suddenly shrank, and they looked at each other. They saw incredible colors in each other's eyes, and they were all shocked. Such a rich spiritual energy. Then, the two felt something and their expressions suddenly changed. They exclaimed, and their hearts were even more shocked. Hiss. How is it possible? The spiritual energy here is even more than several times richer than the spiritual energy in the northern sky region. The two of them relaxed their expressions, and a question came to their minds. Is it really as they thought, that Kunlun took over the place after discovering the changes in the immortal burial mountains? This idea was quickly rejected by Ling Mu, and Yunyan also thought of this. Just these 72 floating mountains alone are not something that ordinary forces can create. With such rich spiritual energy, if I practice here, I can definitely break through the Heavenly King realm in the shortest time. Yunyan's face was a little excited. She didn't expect that this trip to the southern wilderness would have such a harvest. Why? Princess Z, you are going to be a disciple of Kunlun. Ling Mu seemed to see Yunyan's thoughts and teased. He didn't believe that Yunyan would be a disciple of Kunlun. If the princess of the Purple Moon dynasty in the northern sky domain became a disciple of a small sect in the southern wilderness, I really don't know what the people in the northern sky domain would think when they knew it. As for his Lingxiao dynasty, it is about to face a great enemy. As long as he can make himself stronger, he will not care about other people's opinions. Now that he can encounter a place with such rich spiritual energy, he is willing to become a disciple of Kunlun. Of course, he will not let Kunlun give up this place with his identity. He has a feeling that Kunlun is not simple, and it is definitely not what Mu Lao said. He does not want to bring another powerful sect with unknown strength to the Lingxiao dynasty for this. Thinking of this, Ling Mu still chooses not to reveal his identity to Kunlun. As for Yunyan, he also believes that the other party should not be so stupid. The fact is that Yunyan does not want to reveal her identity. Ling Mu, you'd better not reveal our identities. This Kunlun is not that simple. Her view of Kunlun has changed a little at this time, and she has become more cautious. If the people of Kunlun know that her and Ling Mu's identities are special, it may cause unnecessary trouble. Of course I know, Princess Z, don't worry. Ling Mu looked at Yunyan and said. Of course, he also saw that Kunlun was not as simple as he thought. Huh. There are still people, at this time, Luo Lingxiao, who was far away, saw that there were still people coming up. She was slightly happy and hurried forward to greet them. These were all her future junior brothers and junior sisters. As a senior sister, she must take care of these new disciples. Yes, there are now 1,600 people who have climbed Kunlun. From the moment they passed the ladder test and reached the top, these people have become Kunlun's disciples. But unfortunately, there are still a small number of people who can successfully reach the top, but they can't hold on and fall down. As for the next two tests, Chen just wanted to test the disciples' state of mind and understanding. 2 junior brothers and sisters, please go over there. You will be my Kunlun disciples in the future. Luo Lingxiao smiled at the 2 people, especially after seeing Yunyan's beautiful appearance. She couldn't help but marvel in her heart. Wow! This junior sister is so beautiful. Yeah. But she's still not as pretty as Ruoxian. It's really that Ruoxian's temperament is too fairy. Luo Lingxiao secretly compared them in her heart, but she always felt that Qin Ruoxian's fairy-like temperament and stunning appearance were really not something that ordinary people could have. However, the 3 of them all have their own beauty. Qin Ruoxian is like a fairy who is spotless and pure, Luo Lingxiao is more like a naughty and cute girl next door, and Yunyan is like a cold and arrogant sister who keeps people away from her. Ling Mu and Yunyan were stunned when they heard each other's words. What's going on? Just become a disciple of Kunlun? Are all the sects in the southern wilderness so careless in accepting disciples? We have become disciples of Kunlun now. Ling Mu looked at Luo Lingxiao with a little disbelief, and at the same time sensed the other party's cultivation, which made him feel disappointed. Dao Palace Realm. This woman can't be the senior sister of Kunlun. It stands to reason that the cultivation of this Kunlun disciple should not be so low. With the power of a saint, it must be at least a very strong force in this southern wilderness with thin spiritual energy. The disciple's cultivation is so low, it really shouldn't be. Ling Mu thought to himself. Low cultivation. If she knew that Luo Lingxiao broke through from the 9th level of the spiritual sea realm to the Dao Palace realm in less than a month, I wonder what he would think. I'm afraid Ling Mu would never believe it even if she told him. That's right, Luo Lingxiao's current cultivation has broken through the Dao Palace realm, but she did not pay attention to the cultivation of the 2. However, even if Luo Lingxiao wanted to sense the cultivation of the 2, she couldn't see it. Ling Mu and Yunyan were at the level of the Void Realm. As for Yunyan, she didn't think too much. Since Kunlun had already regarded her as a disciple, she would just adapt to this identity and practice here. If Kunlun was in trouble in the future, she would help Kunlun once. Yunyan looked at Luo Lingxiao and was a little disappointed. This cultivation was too low. Yes. Junior brother, junior sister, don't be stunned for now. There are 2 more tests later. It will determine whether you are outer disciples or inner disciples. Okay. Ling Mu was stunned for a moment and replied, thinking, I am the 2nd prince of the Lingxiao dynasty. I will not become an outer disciple of Kunlun later, right? That would be a great shame. As for Yunyan, she didn't care so much. She just nodded and didn't say anything. Luo Lingxiao smiled slightly when she saw this, and didn't care. Then she led the 2 people to the direction of the sect square. Princess Z, I'm looking forward to you calling me senior brother. Ling Mu smiled at Yunyan, and wanted to know what method Kunlun would use to test them. Humph. No one will treat you as dead if you don't speak. Don't call me princess again. Hearing this, Yunyan's face showed a trace of anger. If she didn't want to reveal her identity, she would have taught Ling Mu a lesson. Ah. Okay, Princess Z. Ling Mu replied seriously. Ling Mu. If you dare to call me princess again, don't blame me for taking action. Yunyan's eyes turned cold and threatened. Okay, Princess Z. Ling Mu said, not afraid of the other party's attack. Sure enough, Yunyan was firmly controlled by Ling Mu. She really didn't want to fight Ling Mu here. It's not that she didn't dare, but she didn't want to. Yunyan just looked at Ling Mu fiercely and didn't say anything. Seeing this, Ling Mu smiled in his heart, and suddenly felt that Yunyan was not as cold and arrogant as the people in Baishanyu said. It's quite fun. Even Yunyan herself didn't know why, facing Ling Mu's provocation, she actually had a strange feeling. It's not that kind of real anger. If someone dared to talk to her like this, she would have killed the other party long ago, no matter where and on what occasion. Yunyan quickly put aside the random thoughts in her mind and calmed down. She was afraid that she would really not be able to help but slap Ling Mu later. Chapter 59, The Illusion of the Nine Netherworld, Enlightenment from the Heavenly Monument. You are listening at novelfull.audio. As Ling Mu and Yunyan arrived at the Zongmen Square, others also looked at the two and were shocked, because both of their temperaments and auras give people a very powerful feeling. It was as if the two of them were nothing like them, just ordinary casual cultivators. At this time, Qin Ruoxian also noticed the two people. After glancing at the two of them, a sharp light flashed in his eyes. Dongshu Realm. With such cultivation at such a young age, it seems that the identities of these two people are not that simple. Humph. Are you here to seek opportunities in Kunlun? That after all, she was a great emperor during her lifetime, so she still had the vision she should have, and could see many things at a glance. With Qin Ruoxian in charge here, Lu Chen felt relieved. There is no need for Lu Chen to pay too much attention to the situation here. Unless there is a disciple who can trigger the system reward, Lu Chen will show up, and Qin Ruoxian has now completely integrated into the identity of Kunlun's disciple. He is in awe of Kunlun and even more awe of the mysterious Lu Chen. She is no longer the empress of the upper world, just an ordinary disciple of Kunlun. As a disciple of Kunlun, if anyone dares to have bad intentions towards Kunlun, she will definitely make him pay a heavy price. However, she thought that Lu Chen did not prevent the two from boarding Kunlun, which meant that Lu Chen knew about it and she did not pay too much attention to the two of them. To be honest, Lu Chen didn't know about the two of them. Lu Chen is practicing in the main hall right now. At this time, Ling Mu and Yunyan, who had just arrived at the square, immediately felt a sharp gaze directed at them, and their expressions suddenly changed slightly. That look made both of them feel frightened. The two of them followed the induction and looked in the direction of their eyes. They saw a woman with an immortal temperament sitting cross-legged next to a huge stone tablet. It was Qin Ruoxian. The two of them couldn't help but exclaimed in surprise. Hiss! How can there be such a fairy-like woman in this world? She is also a disciple of Kunlun. Then the two of them looked at each other with somewhat shocked expressions. As the prince of the Lingxiao dynasty, Ling Mu never met anyone with such a temperament. Qin Ruoxian is like a female emperor, giving the impression that she is sitting cross-legged on the clouds, overlooking everyone. Even though Yunyan has always had absolute confidence in her peerless appearance, she couldn't help but be amazed and shocked when she saw Qin Ruoxian's aura of immortality, like a queen. Kunlun. To have such disciples is by no means as simple as a hidden sect. At this moment, the two of them were even more sure that Kunlun was not simple. Immediately afterwards, the second and third tests are about to take place. They are to use illusions to test the disciples' state of mind, and to test the understanding with heavenly monuments. The 9 Netherworld illusionary realm is divided into 18 levels. Those who can pass through 3 levels or above are inner disciples, and those who can pass below 3 levels are outer disciples. The 18th level of Xuanhuan. When you hear the name, you can think of the 18th level of hell when you and Lu Chen were on Blue Star. That's right, it's the 18 levels of hell. This is a place that scares all the gods from the mythical era on Blue Star, not to mention using it to test disciples. I am afraid that even if the Emperor comes, it will never be possible to pass the 10th floor. The system told Lu Chen that any monk who enters the illusion of Xuanhuan will encounter the characters from hell who should appear on that level of the illusion. This is also used by the system for Lu Chen to recruit disciples in the future. There is also a sky tablet used to test the disciples' understanding. As for the sky monument testing of enlightenment, it is a monument of understanding that all disciples can use to test whether their understanding has been improved at any time, but I am using it now to better identify which disciples among the first batch of disciples have poorer understanding and which ones have better understanding. Of course, no matter whether it is better or worse, it will not distinguish between inner And outer disciples like the illusion test, Chen has a system. In the future, when the sect grows stronger and gets more system rewards, it will naturally be possible to redeem it in the system mall for treasures that can improve understanding. At that time, no matter how poor the disciple's understanding is, he can instantly improve his skills. Junior brothers and sisters, my name is Lingxiao and I am Kunlun's second senior sister. This is your third senior sister, Qin Ruoxian. At this time, Lingxiao walked to Qin Ruoxian's side and looked at everyone and said, "Wow." As soon as these words came out, everyone's expressions were filled with excitement. To have two such beautiful senior sisters, both junior brothers and junior sisters feel extremely honored. I've met the second senior sister, I've met the third senior sister. Immediately, all the disciples were very polite and bowed to the two of them. When Ling Mu saw this situation, he also shouted to the two of them, showing no reluctance at all. If someone threatens you, just blink, Ling Mu. No. Absolutely not. I volunteered. Seeing this scene, Yunyan's eyes widened instantly, her face full of disbelief. She really didn't expect that the dignified prince of the Lingxiao dynasty in the northern territory would be so spineless and call him senior sister. Backbone? What's the use of spine? What I want is strong strength that can protect my people. Ling Mu, you. What? This is our future senior sister, why are you still standing there? Why don't you call me senior sister quickly? Ling Mu said disapprovingly, not caring about Yunyan's surprised expression, and thought to himself at the same time. It seems there is a senior brother. I don't know how strong that senior brother is. I really want to compete with him. Lin Yun, this new junior brother, your idea is very dangerous. Ling Mu has already naturally regarded himself as a disciple of Kunlun at this time. Ling Mu, don't bother me, I won't call you. If you want to call me, you can call me later. Yunyan has her own pride. Although Qin Ruoxian gave her a very shocking feeling, she, the eldest princess of the Ziyue dynasty, called a disciple of a sect as senior sister, she really couldn't do it. What's more, she only became a disciple of Kunlun in order to practice here. She couldn't accept it if she completely integrated herself into the identity of a Kunlun disciple. This is what you said. If you want to leave in the future, leave by yourself. Don't expose my identity and don't tell anyone about Kunlun. Ling Mu looked at Yunyan with a reluctant face and said seriously, he knew that the Purple Moon dynasty was powerful, much more powerful than the Lingxiao dynasty. If Yunyan left in the future and accidentally exposed Kunlun's affairs, the Purple Moon dynasty would definitely send out strong men to take over this place. This was not what he wanted to see, not to mention that he had no ill will towards Kunlun, and she could see that Yunyan was the same. He also knew that Yunyan was not the kind of person who bullied the weak and was full of indifference. She did not inform the people of the Purple Moon dynasty of the situation because of the rich spiritual energy here, otherwise it would probably be the place of the Purple Moon dynasty now. Kunlun might have been destroyed. Although he felt that Kunlun was not simple, it was limited to the forces in the southern wilderness, if compared with the terrifying forces of the Purple Moon dynasty. It would be like a big crow meeting a small crow, and there is no comparison at all. Seeing this, Lingxiao and Qin Ruoxian smiled slightly, and their smiles were very charming. Junior brother, junior sisters, don't be polite. In the future, you will be fellow disciples and should take care of each other. Chapter 60. Could this be a small world? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Everyone's expressions were very excited. Being able to be a disciple of Kunlun would have a backer in the future, and they would no longer have to be suppressed by people with backgrounds. This is the cruelty of the cultivation world. If you have no background and no power to rely on, once you meet those monks who have sects and powerful families, you can't even raise the heart to resist. Even if you are strong in cultivation, you are still alone. Okay, junior brothers and sisters, we are now going to take the second test, the 9 Netherworld illusion, which is to let everyone enter the illusion to test everyone's state of mind. Lingxiao smiled slightly when she saw the excited expressions of everyone. At the same time, she was a little worried about these disciples who had just entered. She and Ruoxian had already entered, therefore, she knew the horror of the illusion. It was said to be an illusion, but it was as if it were real. Every creature she encountered in it made her heart tremble and she was filled with fear, and she had only passed the 5th level. The same is true for Qin Ruoxian. Even though she was a great emperor in life, among the creatures she has ever seen, there is absolutely nothing as terrifying as the creatures in the illusion. Just the breath makes her heart tremble. Those are absolutely terrifying creatures she has never seen before. Looking back now, Qin Ruoxian's eyes can show fear. Qin Ruoxian only passed the 6th floor with difficulty. Wow. The illusion of 9 Netherworld. Hearing this name made people feel horrified, and everyone's expressions changed drastically. Of course they had heard of illusions, but no one had ever really seen them. They didn't expect that there was an illusion in Kunlun. This was something no one expected, and it was just to test their state of mind. Illusion of the 9 Netherworld. Ling Mu, have you ever heard of this illusion? Yunyan said with a shocked expression. She did not expect that Kunlun actually had an illusion. Of course, with her background in the Ziyue dynasty, she naturally had the ability to create an illusion. Treasure, but the forces that can possess this kind of illusion are super forces, and some ordinary hidden sects don't have this kind of background. Kunlun is so mysterious. Moreover, the illusions are all used for training by the disciples of the big forces, and they will not be opened at will. Kunlun's handiwork is so big? No, but it should be Kunlun's heritage. Ling Mu's face was also extremely shocked. It was normal for a sect that seemed so extraordinary to have some unusual heritage. This is definitely not the unique heritage of a power that has only been inherited for more than 100,000 years. Ling Mu was very excited at this time. It seemed that he had come to the wrong place. There was definitely an opportunity for him here. 2 senior sisters, is there anything we should pay attention to here? That everyone was still a little panicked and asked, it would be better to ask clearly, what to do if they are unable to get out of the illusion later. Hearing this, Qin Ruoxian nodded towards Lingxiao and signaled. Don't worry, everyone. There is no danger in entering the illusion. The illusion is divided into 18 levels. Those who can pass through the 3rd level and above are inner disciples, and those below the 3rd level are outer disciples. Lingxiao said while looking at everyone. After hearing this, everyone felt relieved and looked a little excited. After passing the 3rd level or above, you can become an inner disciple. This is a rare opportunity for them. Ling Mu and Yunyan were also stunned when they heard this, and their expressions changed slightly. There are 18 levels of illusion. Can you become an inner disciple by passing 3 or more levels? So simple. How much you look down on people. The 2 of them are the top 10 geniuses in the Northern Territory. They are not ordinary monks. Now, junior brothers and junior sisters, please sit down and meditate. The illusion test has officially begun. After the words fell, everyone quickly meditated and waited quietly. A moment later, buzz. I saw a divine light instantly enveloped everyone, and then everyone disappeared. No one knows where they went. Seeing the people disappearing, Lingxiao said to Qin Ruoxian with lingering fear. Ruoxian, how many people do you think can pass the 3rd floor? Qin Ruoxian couldn't help but shuddered when he recalled the creatures in Xuanhuan and said. There should be very few people who can pass the 3rd level test. I don't think it looks like an illusion. It's most likely from my Kunlun past. At this point, Qin Ruoxian didn't say any more. Ruoxian, you mean that, inside there, is me, Kunlun. Lingxiao heard the meaning of Qin Ruoxian's words. Her face was shocked and her voice was trembling. It's very possible that it's not an illusion at all, but more like an unknown world. Qin Ruoxian could feel that there seemed to be many terrible beings in the world in the illusion of Xuanhuan, and it's not just an illusion. The creatures inside seem to have autonomous consciousness. It is impossible for the things or creatures that exist in the illusion to exist consciously, because they are all illusory. Some world. Lingxiao looked shocked and exclaimed. The impact of these words on her was too great, and she could not touch them at all. What a world! How is that possible? If someone else said this, she would never believe it, but from Qin Ruoxian's mouth, she would involuntarily believe the other person's words. As for why, she didn't know. Maybe it was because Qin Ruoxian had more knowledge than her, at the same time. In the illusion of Jiuyo Huangquan, everyone appeared in a desert full of desolation, except for the desert wind and sand. There is no end as far as the eye can see. Everyone was in the desert, looking at the scene in front of them. They were shocked and speechless. Is this a fantasy? How is this so true? Countless winds and sand blew, and everyone quickly covered their eyes, feeling extremely horrified. No. Didn't you say there are 18 floors? What's going on? There's nothing. Someone reacted and said with a trembling voice. Everyone reacted after hearing this, nodded, and looked ahead stupidly, not knowing what to do next. Behind everyone, after Ling Mu and Yunyan felt the surrounding environment, their expressions suddenly changed. Is this an illusion? Yunyan was a little afraid to enter the tunnel. She could clearly feel that everything here was real and not an illusion at all, more like a certain world. This isn't a small world, is it? Ling Mu released his consciousness to feel the surrounding environment, and said with a trembling voice, small world. Even a holy land may not have a small world. What's more, it's a hidden sect in the southern wasteland. Small world. Yunyan was suddenly shocked. Impossible. What kind of sect is Kunlun? Princess Z, I feel like we are really lucky. Kunlun is definitely more mysterious than we imagined. Ling Mu looked very excited at this time.